And
Todd,
she
do
can
you,
edit.
Welcome everyone to our compensation plan training tonight with Todd Rowland. I just first of all want to thank you so much, Todd, for taking the time to teach us more as we're all, many of us are new on this journey and trying to understand the nuances of this plan. So just want to thank you in advance for your time and welcome you to the Zoom today.
Sounds great, Stacy. Nobody's moving any faster than you and your team right now. You are remarkable watching you from a distance. Um, so what we're going to do today is I've got two things set up. It's not just going to be a pay plan training. This is actually just, we've invited a few other people just to come on that also were asking for this kind of information, but this was really just for Stacy and a few of her leaders. So any of you guys on Stacy's team, please ask me questions. Stop me. You're not going to ask any dumb question, and probably everybody watching is going to be wondering the same thing you asked. So please don't let me go through something you don't fully understand. But I've got done is I've got not just the comp plan training, but I've also got a girl in my business that doesn't mind me sharing her back office. So I'm actually inside of a person's business. So I'm going to go back and forth between the PowerPoint and then showing you how to track all this on real time inside your back office and how to know about title advancements. And if we wanted to get into these smart links and stuff at the end, we can do that too in her back office. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay. So we'll start first with just a little bit of comp plan training, and then we'll go into um, then how to track it in the back office and how to manage it all. So as you can see here, we're paid 8 different ways. The retail sales, that's obvious. That's, in our system, that's buying a 10 or 30 pack of the skinny drops or body balancing drops. We retail them. We keep the difference between what we paid wholesale and what we sell it for retail. And the great thing about a lot of our products like the drops is we can have as much as $100 profit per box. So I think it's one of the things that's really driving this growth that we're having is that brand new people with limited skill set can get in and start posting on social media the system we give them for free, and then they can immediately start cash flowing. And Stacy, I think you saw that when you first actually started using the system because you had a lot of experience in another company, and I had too. And I'd never had a system that worked like that. Do you want to share anything on that before we move into the actual company pay plan?
Sure. It's so exciting to me to see that we have a way that people can win at all levels here. Whether you just want to come on and retail the drops, you can make awesome money doing that. And then, make money while you're building the team aspect of it. And it was night and day difference for me. When I started following the system, I was just casually posting every once in a while, was not plugged into anything. And then Ann and I went to the PXP conference, and that was what changed everything. I saw the bigger picture and saw this system is powerful and it's working for people that have never even had experience in this industry. So it was just so exciting to me to see that anybody can come on, no matter what your experience level is or none. There were so many that had no experience, and it really, and I had to get over myself. Let me see. We have somebody we need to mute.
That's my bad. Sarah, where are you when I need you? Hey,
hey,
let me.
hey, Todd,
Yes.
make Janine co-host. I'm on with Janine. This is Ann.
Just a second.
I'll manage the,
Okay, hang on a second.
I can
or
help
Billy.
too.
Billy's there too. We can help.
Why is it doing this to me? I'm trying. Give me one second.
Okay.
Okay, Billy, you're co-host now,
Okay.
and Anna, you're about to be.
Yeah, put me on. It's under Janine. We'll
There should
help you.
be.
Janine Hallen.
I don't see that name.
Hallin. Janine.
Okay, got it.
Got it. Thank you. I'll help you.
Okay, so I just want to say I have seen both sides of it because when I first joined, I did not follow the system. I don't recommend that, everybody. So when you start, do what it says, follow the system. It was night and day difference for me. Within right away, I just started promoting and moving up. And so it just was so encouraging to me, seeing a simple system that duplicates.
Okay, and Sarah's about to come on board too, so we'll have several people in case the noise. I apologize for the noise there. I'm not used to running these on my own. Okay, let me share my screen again. So I got thrown off a little bit, which doesn't happen often, but going back to you, Stacy, when you first started posting those body balance and drops in our system, you then were able to start buying more drops and placing them at the bottom underneath everybody. Will you talk just a bit about that? And then when they see it in just a second, it's going to make a lot of sense.
Okay, so um, the way this compensation plan works, which is just so smart, is that you're actually encouraged to place volume under new people. Number one, you can help them go ultimate, but number two, it helps you to make a new volume bonus. And it's really a win-win because when you place that new person at the bottom, whether they're a new brand partner or not, they have to be new within the first 4 Fridays, but that volume goes all the way up the line and everybody benefits from the volume that's placed.
Okay, so here we go. So the first way we're paid after the retail money, the compensation plan, the terminology we use is called new volume bonus, but in common sense terms, anybody that we personally sponsor for $29.95 is, just as Stacy just said, within their first 4 weeks of business, first 4 Fridays, whatever they buy or sell, we get new volume bonus on. And depending on what level you're at, depends on what income you get. So if you come in for $29.95 and you're just what we call the activated position, which does allow you to access the entirety of the pay plan, but you only get 15% new volume bonus. You can see there's 2 levels, business and elite, before you get to what we call our top pay. But today we're just going to focus on the top pay because almost everybody gets there. And when you get to what we call top pay or ultimate, you will have moved 1,500 points of product through your business, which for most of us here in the States, that's a 30 pack. In Canada, that's 3 10 packs. I know Billy and some of you guys have joined us up there now. So either way you do it, once I lock in ultimate, I basically double all upfront money for life to 30%. So now then when I personally sponsor somebody and they go ultimate, I will have made 30% times 1,500 points or $450. And Billy, Anna, and Stacy, this is for you guys. So after I do things, I'm going to pause and see if y'all want to add anything or make me clarify anything. Anything you guys got? Okay. The second thing, and don't forget, you do have to unmute on your side now. I saw you unmuted, Billy. Did you have something? Okay. So the second thing that occurs when you get to ultimate or top pay is you unlock the first 3 generations of matching check for life. And we do not have to requalify for this. And you're going to understand exactly what that means in just a second. And we've got this wonderful skinny drop system that we utilize to make this happen in.
Hey,
Let me
Todd.
make sure. My screen
you-
not shared anymore, is it?
No, sir. I reclaimed posts. I got us locked down. I do apologize, everyone, for the disruption in this Zoom.
Okay, thank you, Sarah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I realized again how bad we need you just a second ago. Um, okay, so we have this skinny drop system. You don't have to use it, but the ones that do, they not only get to top pay, but they make really nice money en route getting there. Somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 is generally what people are going to make when they sell their first 30 boxes. So for the ones that do it, you're going to use the 30 pack. I'm going to be referring this to a lot because if you get your team duplicating the 30 pack, you're going to see your paychecks just skyrocket. We've got some people with zero experience in the industry making 40, 50,000 with us. Their 5th, 6th, and 7th month in the company off of this system right here. So basically here in the States, when you order a 30 pack, it's going to be 2,300. You're going to sell the boxes for 167 retail, which is going to create $2,760 profit the first time. But after the first time, you're going to place that order on other people and you're going to get a $450 new volume bonus because you're going to drive somebody ultimate you personally sponsored. So when you add 450 to 2760, you're at $3,000 or $100 per box profit. And for Billy and Christy and the ones and Carmen, the ones that are in Canada, you do the same thing. We always used to use 10 packs down here too before we had the 30 packs. So you just place 3 10 packs. The prices are different. You guys know your Canadian numbers, a little over $3,000 for the 3 10 packs, and then you're going to sell for between 200 and 221, and you're going to churn the same profit we churn. You're just selling it, the Canadian prices with the exchange rate. The great news for the Canadians, whether you are in Canada or whether your business grows into Canada, is they get paid in the American dollar, which means for every $10,000 they make American, they're actually going to have 14,000 in their bank account Canadians. You get the great exchange rate coming back to you. So there is actually the Canadian numbers there. I forgot I had them in here. So if you buy 3 10 packs in Canada, it will cost you $35.70. And when you move those 30 boxes at $200 per box, you'll turn $2,430 profit. That's before the $450 you get back in the pay plan. Billy, Carmen, anything y'all want to add there on the Canadian stuff? Just make sure I didn't miss anything that y'all are doing.
Nothing that I would add other than just the importance of getting that done. And the key, which I'm sure you're going to elaborate on that further, but it's just so important to lock that in and get it done.
So what would you say the percentage of people on your team, Billy, that are getting that done?
Oh, like 99.9%.
And what do you think what do you say on your team to make that percentage be so high? Like, how are you getting that done?
Well, it locks you in at top pay. So, the other thing too is if you factor in that new volume bonus on any drops that you personally sell, it basically helps you earn about $20 more a box, like ballparkish. Well, at least before we switched over to the day and night drops, that way it was about $20 more a box by the time you factor in that new volume bonus and that sort of thing. So yeah, I just tell people, like, if you're in it for the long haul, you want to make sure that you get that done for sure.
Awesome. And Laura, I know you're brand new, but I'm assuming you must have moved quite a number of 30 packs. You've advanced so quickly. Anything you want to add there, or you got any questions?
And Dr. Laura, you should be able to unmute now.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me now? Oh,
Yeah, we
sorry.
got you, Dr. Laura.
Yeah. No, I've sold, I think I'm at 250, but 250 boxes.
How quickly have you sold 250 boxes? How long has that taken?
I started July 2nd.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. I know it's kind of been crazy, but it's all good, right? And I think the biggest thing is helping people duplicate that, and we are seeing huge wins, with anyone doing it. And that's one thing. I mean, I'm just following the system like everybody else. I'm not doing something different.
Incredible. Congratulations, Laura. That is quite amazing.
Thanks.
Laura was one of the few people that in my 20 years of network marketing full time, that the first time I was ever put on the phone call with her, she says, I don't want to hear you the fluff. Just tell me how to make more than 30,000 a month. That's all I care about. So I was like, you're my kind of girl. That's who I want to talk to. So we're going to expand on that tonight. We're going to show you how to get to plus 50,000 a month. Okay. So once you go ultimate or top pay, not only have you doubled the upfront money to 30%, but you also now unlock matching bonus, is the what our company calls it. I like to call it matching check because it makes it more visible for life, the first 3 generations. You do have to create income in your second leg to unlock generations 4 through 7, but generations 1 through 3, if you're at top pay, you can actually become a multimillionaire in our comp plan and only have one person on one leg. I've never seen a network marketing company that allows that before. They've usually got to jump through 49 hurdles to get paid. So here's how it works. Anybody that you sponsor with 0 exception on any leg, they're on your first generation for life. And as long as you've unlocked the first 3 generations at top pay, you're now going to get a 15% match on their base paycheck for life. So if they make $100 next Friday, you'll get $15 in your paycheck. You'll see it. So for those that don't want to, I'm going to show you this in the comp plan in a little bit. We're going to pull up some people's paychecks and actually look at the matching check in them. You're going to see exactly how this rolls out. But if you just had somebody made $1,000 that you signed up, you're going to get 150. There's no limit and there's no time frame. There's no minimum. There's no maximum. And most importantly, for anybody that's been around our industry, there's no breakaway, meaning that if you If you literally only signed up one person and that one person 5 or 6 years down the road starts making $1 million a year, you'd be getting a 15% match on that $1 million. So you'd be getting 150,000. But this is how you can create the crazy income, because anybody they sponsor are going to be on your second generation, and you get a 10% match for life. So if you sign up somebody good, they're probably going to go sponsor over time 100 plus people. Then you got 100 plus people on your second generation, you're getting a 10% match on, which is probably going to outrun their check. And then when they sponsor people, now you're starting to get that compounding effort. It's going to be a 5% match on the third. It actually goes through 7 generations, but the first 3 generations are unlocked forever just by going top pay. Now we're going to move to the team commissions. And as soon as I show you this, we're going to go into the back office and like look at this, because it is our team commissions that help us also advance my title. And we're going to make sure you understand exactly when you're seeing your dashboard say you're 300 points away from an advancement. You'll know exactly how to go look in the what we call the volume area of your business and see exactly what you need, if it's already there, all those types of things. So here's how the team commissions work. This is where you have to start building more than one leg. Matching check doesn't care. It works on every leg. But in what we call base pay, if you were to start building 2 legs only, you'd be paid 15% unlimited of the lesser of 2 legs. But we are not what people in our industry would call a binary. We're called a multi-line. And the way that works is you can end up building as many legs or lines of business as you so choose, and you're going to be paid 15% unlimited on every leg of business except for the biggest on Friday. So this illustration shows leg 1 with 8,000 in sales, leg 2, 4,000, leg 3, 2,700. So leg 2 and 3 are the smaller of the legs for the week. So you'd be paid 15% of 4,000 for $600 and 15% of 2,700 for $405 for the week. So you can see there your paycheck for the week in this one area of pay would be slightly over $1,000.
Todd,
this-
can I interrupt here real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay, question. You said unlimited. We get paid unlimited on the 15%, but I thought it was up to the 13,334.
Okay, that is correct. So,
Okay.
so it's unlimited in as far as it grows anywhere in the world. Like it could be 1,000 levels deep, and if the transaction occurred, you'd be paid 15%. But every leg of business we have has 2 things that occur. Number 1, it caps at 2,000 per week, but when it does hit 2,000 for the week, it triggers shares in our bonus pool that I'm getting ready to show you how quickly that can add up. So you're going to build multiple legs, and every pay leg you start building past the first one gives you an exponential number of shares in the bonus pool. So you'll get the 2,000 plus whatever bonus money is associated with the leg. So there is a 2,000 cap, but it does pay to unlimited depth wherever the leg grows to in the world until it hits that 2,000 for the week. And just so you'll understand how that system reads it, the system runs Friday night at midnight to Friday night at midnight Mountain Time. And any sale that occurs between those 2 time periods is clocked for that week. So at midnight on Friday night, the week clocks out. Checks will generally run on Tuesday morning, and then we get direct deposits starting on, depending on your banking. Some people get them Thursday afternoon through Thursday night. Everybody has them before they wake up on Saturday morning. Anything else, Stacy? Is that clarified, or do you want to ask everything good? Okay. Yeah, I'm really like, this is not a one-sided training tonight. I really want this to answer every question that you guys have. Anna, like y'all ladies are, you're promoting more big titles than anybody else in the company right now. Y'all are killing it. So make sure you've got all this completely. Okay, so one of the first big advancements in the company is called officer. Once you get past like the first 3 or 4 advancements are strictly based upon total pay. So if you make $200, you get a title, $400. I don't know them all by heart. But once you get past about the 4th title, it's based upon what they call pay line volume. And that is any volume, and you're getting ready to see this in the back office, how you can look at it and track it. So to make officer, you need 6,677 points of volume. You multiply that times your 15%, you'd be 1,000 in pay. So it makes it easy to say. But once you get officer, you get a lot of perks. Number 1, you'll get access to what we call our elite line. So when you call rep services, you can hit a certain number and it'll kick you into a little bit higher level that allows you to problem solve and do different things. Also, there is what's an officer Facebook group and an officer call with the owners and management of the company once a month. That kind of keeps you ahead of all current news. That way you're not catching it when it's officially announced. You kind of know what's coming, you know, products, you know, anything that might be coming down the pipeline early. And the greatest thing about our system is that if you just had 14 10 packs on a pay leg, that would create it. 14 times 500 points is a 10 pack. That would be 7,000 points. Or you would only need like 4 30 packs sold on a pay leg. So depending on how you're moving the body balance and drop system, that's how we've got these titles advancements happening so quickly, is that the skinny drop system kind of expedites the growth there. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit more and then I'm going to go into the back office and we're going to look at this live. So the next big title advancement is called Senior Officer. And this is the one that changes everything. This is where you do exactly what Stacy just asked. This is where you're going to make $2,000 on a pay line and it's going to trigger those shares and you're going to get the extra bonus money in your paycheck. Also, senior officers are going to they're always going to have like dinners at our convention. There's going to be a lot of things for senior officers. It's kind of I'll call it the title of arrival. You're making basically a full-time living. I think our income disclosure statement says the average senior officer makes $165,000 a year with the company. There are some making significantly more than that because of matching check, but just in the base pay area, that's going to be the number. All right. So this is what that looks like. At least two legs, at least two legs doing 13,334 points of volume, exactly what Stacy asked. Why the weird number is because when you multiply 13,334 times 15%, that's your $2,000. That is going to, and you're going to see the bonus pool chart in just a second. It's also in your Partner Co Share app, if you wanted to print out the pay plan there, the PDF. But the bonus money is going to be right at 500. It's not a stagnant number because it's always based upon global revenue. So it ranges between about 450 and 550 right now, depending on the week. So you're going to get 2,000 in base pay when you do that. You're going to get a $500 bonus, and you're going to get $300 put in your savings account. And if you don't know what that is, you're about to understand it in a second. So if you're doing that every week, so Dr. Laura did that her 4th week in the company. But if she started doing that every week, which would not surprise me if she did, you're going to be making minimum $145,000 for the year. But that does not include your new volume bonus, meaning that upfront 30%. And that also does not include your matching check. Matching check takes time to grow. That's the check match based upon other people's paycheck. But over time, it's generally going to be equal to or greater than your base pay. So most people that do this weekly for a year, generally speaking, their matching check will be over 100,000 in addition to the 145. So a lot of our senior officers that have a little time under their belt that are doing it weekly are well north of $250,000 a year, just on 2 optimizing legs. There is your chart. It's coming up now. So the first pay leg, which would be your second leg, is going to trigger right at a $500 bonus, in addition to the 2,000 in base pay. But remember, you can build as many legs as you want to. And based upon the amount of legs you build, the number of shares you get are exponential. So you can see there on your third leg or your second pay line that optimizes, you would get another 2,000 in pay plus a $1,500 bonus. And you can see there how that exponentially grows. So one day, maybe 6 or 7 years down the road, you build 9 legs. They're optimizing every week. You would be getting 9 times 2,000 in base pay or 18,000, but your bonus money would be an additional 18,000. So you're at 36,000 a week if you had 8 legs doing 13,000 in volume a week. And you're getting ready to see how to really make that happen quickly. And you're going to understand their skinny drop system. So this is, again, what 3 legs look like. So with 3 legs, you've got a power leg, which you're getting your matching check on. It's just not indicated on this slide. This is just base pay and just bonus money and savings account money. But if you only had 3 legs and they were optimizing weekly, you can see there your income is $286,000 a year in this area of pay. But that does not include your 30% new volume bonus you would be getting. And it also does not include your matching check, which generally, if you're optimizing 3 legs weekly, the matching check is going to quickly catch and probably surpass the 286. So we have a lot of people who optimize 3 legs weekly that are well north total income of 500,000 a year with all ways we get paid. And this is what 4 legs look like. So 4 legs before matching bonus would be $468,000 a year. That's just $2,000 on each of the 3 pay legs, plus your bonus money, plus your savings account money. So you're at 468. That is an exact number. There's no variation in that number. And you're welcome to screenshot that. And I can also upload this to Dropbox, and Sarah can send this out to everybody in the morning on the IPA call if you want it. Remember, this 468 does not include your matching check. So I can promise you, the people out here that are optimizing 4 legs weekly, the matching check is definitely going to at some point catch and surpass that number. So a lot of people in our company that have 4 weekly optimizing legs are going to be pushing $1 million a year or more in the company total income. All right. So how does a Susan Cameron, who has 0 experience in our business, how does she optimize every week somewhere between 4 and 6 legs? She has about 2 to 3 legs that have really good growth on it. Obviously, Stacy and Ann and you ladies are on one of those legs. So that leg's probably going to optimize no matter what every week. It just has a lot of growth, a lot of auto ships. But some of her legs, she does it strictly on new growth. She'll start the week with just a couple thousand in volume. But in the growth factor, whether it be ladies that have sold through 30 boxes are going to go back and place another 30-pack order, or new people signing up with a 30-pack. Between that combination, it only takes 9 30-pack orders on a leg to optimize it for the week. That doesn't include any random orders, any other product purchases, any auto ships. Just 9 30-packs optimizes a leg. So with this system, if you teach it and get it duplicating really well in your organization, the key is getting it duplicating in your organization. When that starts to take off and duplicate, these legs start really getting crazy volume in it almost overnight. All right, and then long term, we obviously want to wake up on Saturday morning so our auto ships run once a month on a personal level, but you have 4 different weeks that you'll be having different people's auto ships run on. So when you wake up on Saturday morning, there is a group of people in your business that will be their week for their auto ship to run. So what a person wants one day is a really large business with customers and or auto ships that are reoccurring. So you need 134 of those that run a 100-point auto ship, and then you wake up on a Saturday morning and that leg is already optimized. 134 times 100 points is 13,400. Now you got a $2,000 paycheck coming from that leg, plus whatever bonus money, depending on what leg that is, at least 500 or more, plus your savings account money. So you're at 2,800 a week on the first pay leg that does that. And then the last piece of the puzzle is, and I had Stacy talk about this early on, so I can bring her back now, but because when we get in here and we start selling these 30 packs, the most lucrative place for us to place our order is on somebody we personally sponsored in the last 4 weeks, because that's where we get paid our 30%. If we just order it from ourselves, we only get paid 15%. But if we personally sponsor somebody, we can remember our system allows us to do this. When you go into the back office and you go to place an order on the second page, and I'm going to show you this in 1 second, it's going to ask you, is it your order or do you want to place it on somebody in your organization? And you're going to place on somebody in your organization. You're going to put in the ID number. So you could have personally sponsored them underneath 100 people on a leg, and you go place that 30-pack order, and all 100 of people above it will get that 1,500-point volume credited to their business, either on a power line, which helps to stabilize them, or on some of them, it could even land on a pay line, depending on how things are growing out. And that is a bit complicated when you hear it for the first time. once you start doing this and you start organically training it with brand new people, one person at a time, it will quickly take a life of its own and everybody knows what they're doing because everybody wants to maximize their own money. And Anna or Stacy or Billy, any of you guys want to add anything in there, y'all feel free to. Or Carmen, I invited her team on too.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that totally blows my mind, honestly, is that I've never been part of something where we can really help other people. Like, we get to place those orders underneath people. And then we also get a bonus on it. Like, it's mind blowing. So I just think, I mean, the thing that I love here is that it really is win, win, win. You always are looking for win-win opportunities, and Partner Co is win, like win for the company, win for the brand partner who is the sponsor, and win for the new person. Like, everybody wins here when you plug in. And, I'm blown away, Todd, because I mean, it's been several weeks now that I wake up on Saturday morning and my power line is optimized every Saturday morning. And I've only been plugging into I mean, I signed up, in June of last year, but like Stacy said, we didn't follow the system until after PXP. So into September, beginning of October last year is when we really started plugging into the IPA, plugging into the system of growth, like truly teaching this system of duplication. And I just want to thank you because you treat this like a job and a business, and you model for people how to do that. And that I've never had that modeled for me to the level that you do. And you truly are the greatest coach. And I just want to thank you for how you have poured in to our organization, but also the whole entire company, because I've never seen leadership like yours and Brent Palmer and James Zhang. I've never seen it before, and it is to be commended. And I just want to let you know how grateful I am, because we are winning because of you and what you have modeled over and over and over again. And I know there are people on here that, like Carmen and Christy, and like, congratulations to them. They are knocking it out of the park as well. And it's because of you, Todd Rowland. And so thank you. I could go on and on.
Thank you. Well, ditto. I feel the exact same about you guys. That's very nice of you to say, though. Thank you. Okay, we mentioned one last thing, and we're going to go into the back office and look at all of this now in real time. So as your base pay starts to grow, this number was factored into all of those when I was showing you total income you'd be making for the year with 2 or 3 optimized legs. I had savings bonus factored into that. It was actually listed and itemized there. But the way it actually works is once you start making $250 or more in base pay, it's base pay only, it does not do it for new volume bonus or matching check. But on your base pay, $250 or more, the company will match 15% more into a savings account for you. You're going to see that wheel in 1 second when I log into this girl's back office. So if you let's just say you make $1,000 in base pay for the week, you make officer, you'll get your $1,000 the following Friday. But when you log into your back office, you're going to see 150 or 15% more put into your savings account. And once that savings account wheel fills up and hits 10,000, you're going to get it released to you the next Friday. So that next Friday, no matter what you make, you'll get an extra $10,000 on that check, plus lots of recognition from the owners, the company, all kind of great stuff. And then from that point forward, every 4th Friday of the month, you're going to get this savings bonus match, and they're going to match up to $500 a week. So for the people that are really, if you're optimizing 2.5, well, let's just say Stacy made president, that's $3,000 in base pay. That would max it out for the week. 3,000 times 15% is $500. So as long as you're CEO or higher weekly, you're going to be matching this out. So every 4th Friday, you get an extra $2,000 dropped into your paycheck, which is nice. Everybody loves that once they get that initial bump. And then that is what they paid out in the U.S. last year in savings account money. That's savings account money alone. The company, by the way, if you really looked into our comp plan, the company pays out between 50 and 51% of the dollars coming in the front door. So I do not know exactly. I asked John in Utah this past when I was up there, and he told me he's going to get me the exact number, but I did not get it yet. But we're shy of 400 million in annual revenue, but plus 300 million in annual revenue. So globally, this company paid out over $150 million out to you and I last year.
Mm. Hey, Todd,
Yes, ma'am.
can we touch on that base commission really quickly? Can you, Susan Frank told me, 1,700 PV in each line to unlock the base, because I was basically looking, isn't that right? 1,700 in each line minimum to unlock the 250?
Drive.
Hang on 2 seconds. I gotta put my calculator to it. I think it's gonna be more than that.
Is
1,700
it more?
times.
I thought it was 1667. So it's
I know, she
1700.
she
Yeah, that would
rounds
be
up.
250. Yeah, that's
She
right.
rounds
She's
up.
right. That's
She
right.
rounds up, Stacy.
No, you're good. Yeah, so 1,700 volume points is $255. What I had to do was just multiply it times 15%. So 1,700 volume times 15% is $255 in base pay, which that's above 250. So I know 250 is 3,750. So it'd be about 3,750 matched in. And this is one thing Brent and I we need to start this back probably. We used to read everybody's paycheck out on Fridays because we can see that in our matching check. But we always would talk about it. You never want to end the week with $240 in base pay because you're leaving money on the table. All you have to do is get $10 more in base pay, and you get that 15% match in addition to that. So I'm getting ready right now it's exactly where we are right now to see this. Sarah, I don't have a picture covering this up, do you? Because my iPads are all running together right now. Is everything clear? Can y'all
Yeah,
see everything
everything's
good?
clear. I just see the back office, the volume report.
Okay, so I'm in a girl's business named Danessa Garner. She's a really unique story because she's one of those that joined the company and fundamentally worked it pretty hard for about 6 to 8 months. She posted, she put us in front of people. We got 2 legs growing. She led us to Jerry and Allison Wyndham, which led to Sarah. That's how Sarah's here now. She got caught in the network. But anyway, her husband got sick and passed away suddenly, and she was left with 3 kids on her own. So she got completely taken out of the game. And I was just actually in her back office now because I had to track everything for her. But she's made $167,000 with us last year in the pay plan. And she really is just now getting to start working this again after being derailed there for a little while. So I'm in her back office, and we're in an area. Let me go back up and show you where we are. If you're analytical, the back office tracks everything. But if the only thing, there's like 3 or 4 things that you have to know how to do. And in order of priority, in my opinion, this is numero uno. If you only check one thing in your back office, this is where you're going to go. And it is not the tree view. The tree view is not accurate on any type of volume. It just shows you people. You have to go here and you have to know how to read it. And then you can go look at the tree view and understand where you need to place somebody. So we're going to go in here and look. We're going to click on My Money and then click on Volume. This runs on real time. So there is no lapse. If somebody signs up in China in your business in 30 minutes, in 31 minutes, you're going to see the volume show up in your back office, and it'll already be translated to dollars. You'll never even know this won't even indicate where in the world they signed up. You'll just see the volume. So the way it works, your power line will be highlighted in red. And just as a footnote, this does not track matching check. There is no way to track matching check, but you can see it when you get paid. I will show you that in a little bit. So when I look in this, remember this week is brand new. We're only on Monday. So the week started Saturday night at midnight. So already, if Danessa were to log in, she's going to see on leg 1, she has 3,200 new volume that has come in. So she's already owed by the company $485 for the week. And I can go over here and just kind of double check all that. And then up here, it's going to show, this is the part that Anna and I were talking about this week on some title advancements. And I'm going to go back a couple of different weeks and maybe we'll get some better numbers. But personal volume and preferred customer volume work on a algorithm in our company. It's actually one of the patents on the pay plan. The actual terminology they use is called auto balance. But any preferred customers, that would be like you send a smart link out and somebody clicked auto ship and they're just a reoccurring customer out there for you. Personal volume is you place an order on your own business yourself, meaning you just went and bought more product, whatever that may be. I always tell people that you are always better off to put your volume on a personally sponsored person at the bottom of a pay leg because everybody gets to share in it, and that's where your 30% is. Personal volume is going to automatically sink in to your weakest leg at the end of the week. So it's going to pay you 15% base pay, but everybody else won't get to share in it. It'll only count for you. But when you're looking at tile advancements, I checked with Reese on this earlier, but Reese is confirming right now the dashboard did not used to account for this, but as of about 5 days ago, we think IT's finally got this accounting for it. So if you were about to title advance, let me go back on your dashboard and show you where that's going to be at. I'm going to hop around a little bit, but you'll follow me through this. So on the dashboard, like right here, Danessa is senior officer. So it's showing me right now for the week, she has 3,300 volume. So for her next advancement, which for her would be president, she would need 16,685 volume this week to get there. So, you know, for some of y'all, it may only show 100 points or 200 points. So we think this is now factoring in everything. I confirmed with Reach before I got on this call, but up until 5 days ago, it did not. It factored in everything but the numbers up here. So we think it is factoring in now, but you do want to go double check, which means there's a lot of people sit out there with maybe 1,000 or 2,000 preferred customer volume weekly if they've been using some smart links for stuff. So all that volume up until 4 or 5 days ago, if you were about to title advancement, would not be counting. But when the thing clocks out and checks run on Tuesday, it will go counted and you will title advance, which means if you saw that you were, let's just say you looked up there and you saw that you're 124 points away from your next title advancement, you can go place a personal order on yourself for 124 points, and the algorithm is going to go place it where it's going to pay you 15% and title advance you. Or you can put a personal sponsor at the bottom of a pay line and get paid 30%, and it's going to advance you the same way. But either way, it works. Okay, so whenever I'm helping someone figure out where to place people and how to maximize the pay plan, 1 week will never tell the story for most people, especially early on. So what I always do, this will allow you to go back and look for multiple weeks. So I can go back and see that the previous week that Danessa had 6,300 in leg 1, 200 in leg 3. So you can see her total pay that week was $984 in base pay. If you had personally sponsored somebody, it would be showing up there under new volume bonus, which is one more caveat. And the dashboard does account for this. But once you get past 4 or 5 titles, all other titles are based upon pay line volume. And new volume bonus does count for title advancements, except it doesn't count if it's on the power leg. You get paid 30% no matter what leg it's on. But for title advancements, the volumes must be on a pay leg. That is a little caveat that sometimes is confusing. If you're building 3 legs and you're trying to go place an order, you're not going to flip a leg. You're going to place it on the weaker of the 3 legs. But if you're only building 2 legs and you're, say, 500 points away from a title advancement, but your legs are only 100 points apart, and you go place an order on a pay leg, it's going to flip the leg and you're only going to get 400 points credit. So I know that what I just said is going to be confusing to some, but just store that in the back of your mind. If you're a leader, you'll be able to problem solve through that. Okay, so I'm going to go back a couple more weeks and show you exactly what I do anytime I'm looking. So I'm just trying to identify, and it's showing me that her leg 2 is the power leg every week. So some people that won't be the case, which means that you cannot judge a power leg based upon 1 week alone. It just doesn't simply tell the whole story. You got to know, like, how many good people are in that leg if you're brand new, what kind of potential those people have. And if those legs are really close, you can't just assume 1 week or 2 weeks in a row that one leg is stronger, that it's going to automatically forever be your stronger leg. And I'll always keep people that know each other are going to be calling on the same group of people. I'm going to put those on my power leg and not split those people up if they're in reason of each other, meaning if they're within just a couple thousand points of each other weekly. So you can see there how we're reading those legs every week. So Danessa's building 3. She has 2 going pretty good. Just keep going back. You can see there. So now I'm going to go, let me pause here. Are there any questions on reading this volume?
Todd, I have a question here. I see.
Okay.
What does carryover volume mean from Lisa Finn?
Okay, great question. All right, so the way it works, let's just look at the numbers exactly. So this particular week, Danessa's power leg, on her power leg, it had 13,000 in volume. On her pay leg, it has 6,200. So what's going to happen at the end of the week is she's going to be paid 15% of 6,213, as you can see there, for 939. And 6,213 is going to erase from 13,334. So we are on week 30. So if I go to week 31, you're going to see that carryover volume was 7,071. So after that subtraction, there was 7,000 left in the power leg. So that carried over, and the new week started with 7,000. And then she's already had base commissional volume. That week had 13,000 more come into it for the week. So she didn't even need any carryover. But if let's just say that 13,334 was only like 5,000, you would have added to 7,000. There would have been 12,000 there. It would have remained her power leg. So you're always going to carry over as long as you have an auto ship. The only time you lose carryover volume is if you turn your auto ship off. If you have a card that, obviously we have this happen all the time, we forget an expiration date, maybe you change cards, who knows what happens, but there's always reasons why it doesn't run. Sometimes we just don't have money, and it didn't run because of that. Like, let's just speak the truth. So sometimes all those things happen. We can always get carryover volume reinstated. You just have to reach up to like a senior officer or above, and then we've got some people we can text, and within reason, if you caught it within like 2 or 3 weeks, we can usually get up to a month of carryover volume reinstated. So if you ever have that problem, just let one of us know. We can do that. And for someone like Stacy, that's CEO, we'll connect you with the people that have the authority to do that, and you can just text those yourself. Did I
Todd,
answer it?
I
Hey,
asked
Todd.
a question?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, hey, I just have a quick question about this carryover and like auto ship, because I do think some of my people were a little confused, but let's say that their credit card, their subscription didn't run on the Saturday because the credit card was fraud and they had to change their card, and now this is on a different card. I mean, if they place their order of 100 points that week, and reset their subscription at the right color week, does that disrupt this or no?
Okay. So the answer is, if they do that, they're eligible for pay. That's second. That's all they got to do. But if they had any carryover volume, that will not reinstate the carryover volume for them. So you'll need to text me the ID, and I'll quickly Laura, I'll get you and Stacy and Ann connected to our guys that can fix that. So anytime that happens futuristically, you'll just text them and say, this person's card got declined. They lost a couple thousand carryover volume. Can you please go reinstate it? It takes these guys about 1 second to do it. There's only just a few people that have the authority to do that.
Okay.
So if
And
you
I-
have some of that, let me know. And then Stacy, tomorrow morning, if you'll put Laura and I and Billy, if you'll put all of us in a text, I'll get y'all connected to our 2 guys up there that have the authority to do it, and then y'all can just talk to them directly.
Okay, great. Thank you.
While we're talking about points flushing, is it also correct that lifestyle credits would flush in that case?
Lifestyle credits also flush if auto ships go inactive, but we can also get those reinstated. But we just
Okay.
have to notify those. Either Taylor, do you have Taylor or Kevin's number already, Billy?
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
wanted to have that on this recording.
Yeah,
Um,
so like you can, I know Ann's got their numbers. We're gonna get Stacy and Laura, Kevin and Taylor's number. So anytime somebody happens like that, it's kind of good to keep me in the thread until you get a relationship built with them. But once you got a relationship built with them, they know you're the leader problem solving. They're gonna do it. They don't even ask a question. They'll just confirm back in the text thread it's done.
Awesome. And for those that don't know, lifestyle credits are for trip earning.
Yeah, we can go look at that too here. So let me ask you that, any other questions on volume before I go look at lifestyle credits and actual paychecks? Okay, and you're going to see this volume show up in just a second in the paycheck too. But so when we go to place somebody, I need to do this before I do that. When we go to place somebody, the tree view tells you nothing. So you can't assume because you're looking at the tree that you really know where to place you. This is a spot that you should visit a time or two a day if you have a growing business and see how things are growing in your organization. It'll tell you, this is the only place in the whole back office that tells you the whole story. So let's just say I look at this. So with Danessa, here's what I know. If she asks me about a placement, I know that she's completely safe placing at the bottom left of her leg one. If unless there was a reason she wanted to put it somewhere else, it's always our default bottom left. Get everybody the volume. Don't be trying to pick and choose the winners because you mess that up almost 100% of the time. Just get everybody sharing you possibly can, and then or she's wanting to build a third leg. Then I would say, no, listen, if you got a brand new sponsor, she's not related to anybody in leg one, let's go ahead and start your third leg because I do like people that are growing, to have 3 growing legs. It just seems to, I favor that. I'm not never wrong with growing 2 legs, but she's got a really stable 2 legs. So she definitely needs a third leg activity. So once we have that, once we know what leg to put it in, then we go back to the dashboard. So if we, when you create a smart link, I just always tell everybody on the smart link to always have the placement cue clicked. And when you sign somebody up, you can use the same smart link over and over and over again. And they're always going to go in placement queue. Once they land there, it's going to give you 24 hours to go place them. Danessa doesn't have anybody there, so we can't do it there. So we're just going to go to enroll. So when I click on enroll, if I was going to create a smart link, and by the way, this is for clarification too. So there are 2 questions in the sign up process. Question number 1 is who is the sponsor? Whose ever back office you're in is going to be the automatic default sponsor. So we're in Danessa's back office, so she's the default sponsor. We could change that if we needed to, but I generally don't like to do that. There's very few times ever you would give away a personal sponsor because we could, as Ann was saying, we can take that personal sponsor and still place it at the bottom of everybody in the base pay. But what we are going to do is the second question it's going to ask is where are we going to place them? This is where I said we're always going to leave this on placement queue for our smart links. That way we can use them over and over. But since I don't have anybody in the placement queue, I've got to go ahead and put this on graphic tree. And when I put this on graphic tree, I've already identified on the other page on the volume that this is going to go at the bottom of leg 1 or leg 3. Let's just say this person knows nobody. So we're going to put this on leg 3. So the first thing I want to do is go put a couple of zeros in where this level thing is right here on the right-hand side. If you only have 10, it's going to not show you the whole down line. And a lot of people aren't paying attention. They think they're seeing the bottom and they're not because, your business does grow without you. So I just always go tell people to put 2 zeros there for 1,000. I used to change it to like 50, and then I saw Carmen change it to 1,000. Well, that's a whole lot smarter than what I've been doing. So I stole her little trick and started using it. And then I'm going to click Show Tree View. So I identified, there's Danessa, that we want to go into leg 3. So what I got to do, I'm on an iPad, and she has a really large business. So I've got to go all the way over here and find leg 3 somewhere. Way easier on a computer. I'm not going to waste time doing this if it don't show up soon. But anyway, you'll find leg 3. There it is. No, it's not. There it is. Leg. Still not her leg 3. The reason it's so far over is because Danessa's got a really, really, really big business. Her one power leg is massive. But somewhere out there on the right-hand side, I would finally get to leg 3, and I would just go down to the bottom. And just like you saw back here on this person's leg 3, let me get back over here so we can see it. There's going to be an empty circle. And when you find that empty circle, you'll just, I'm sorry. Sometimes these
I
iPads.
found that you can pinch in, like this and make it really small, and then you can move it around a lot easier. There you can see some of it.
Thank you, Stacy. Look, we found it. Okay. So this is not exactly her leg 3, but you can see on Abby Gildry here, you can see her leg 3 there has an empty circle. So if I was going to put somebody there, all I got to do is click on that circle. And when I do, and it clicks back over here in just a second, it's going to actually show me that enrollment now on the enrollment page. Okay, you can see there, it found that person I clicked on. So it's just asking me to confirm now that that placement was correct. So I confirm. And then remember, if you're creating smart links, you want it to be on placement queue. We don't want to pick, because if you pick, it can only be used one time. But if you put it on placement queue, you can use it over and over and then go place them as they sign up. So I like to have multiple signups already built out. So I do a 30 pack, I do a $29.95, or in Canada, $37.95 sign up only. Because sometimes people just want to get in the system, they're going to go order product. So I have that. I generally have a 4-pack, a 10-pack, and a 30-pack. And here in the States, a couple of my teams sell the heck out of this 888 pack. It's $19.99 and you get 8 of the big 3 products. So those are the 2 I have set on my on these back offices. It's the 2 signups. Let's just say we're going to add to the bag that 30-pack. I'm going to click next. I'm going to click next. You can set an auto ship. Everybody runs their business differently. It's completely up to you. If you want to go ahead and set it, my favorite auto ship here in the States is the MOA and the Renew. So I'm just going to click that add to bag. I have some created with auto ships, some created without auto ships. So we can see there, I've got all that set up. It shows me the price of everything, the auto ship, the 30-pack, everything is all set. So up here at the very top, you're going to see in black, it says Smart Link. So I click there on Smart Link. Once I do, you do not have to put a PIN code in. All you got to do is name it. So I'm just going to say 30-pack sign up with auto ship. And I'm going to go ahead and label it. That way I know when I go look. I'm going to show you where these are stored at. Renew/MOA auto ship. Generate link. So once I generate this link, I can now copy and paste that link, and I can send that to 1,000 different people to sign up with. And when all 1,000 people sign up, they're signing up with that 30-pack. They're going to have that auto ship. All they got to do is put their information in. It's going to land in the placement queue. And then when I go to the placement queue, I can go look at the volume, see what leg it needs to go in, go to the tree, go to the bottom left of that tree and place it. And that's all there is to it. Questions on smart links. And that's enrollment smart links. Customer smart links are separate. Okay, back here, let's look at commission statements. Then we're going to go, the last thing we'll do is go to the travel reward dollars that Stacy brought up. So we go to commission statements. It's right, my money commission summary is right above the volume. So I go to commission summary. And you can run as many as you want. So I'm going to go back to just say, let's just go back to the beginning of last year and run it to right now. So you can see here, these are Danessa's paychecks every Friday, total income. So you can see all the different money she's making. And this is a girl that doesn't even work our business right now. She hasn't worked the business in 3 years. She hasn't worked it since we became partner co. It's the magic of residual income. Okay, so let's go up here now and look at one of her checks, and this will give us a story. So if I go up here and click on this check right here, click the plus sign, it's going to pull up for us. And then when I go in here, it's going to break down everything. It'll actually show you here the total volume in a leg. So although we're capped at 13,000, it shows me the total volume on her power leg last week was actually 23,000 volume came through her business last week on that leg. So it's showing me her base pay was 15% of 6213 for $948.84. But down here, it starts breaking down the matching check. This is what we can't see. So it shows me that Jerry Wyndham, I think Jerry may have joined us tonight. No, they didn't join. So Jerry and Allison were one of her personal sponsors. That's who's personally sponsored Sarah. So Jerry and Wyndham last week made $470 in base pay only. She gets a 15% match, or she made $70.56 on her match. And you can see there, these are first generation, second generation, third generation. So in matching checks, she made $140 last week. That was in addition to the base pay, which that took her total paycheck. Plus she got her savings bonus. Last week was savings bonus. So she had a $480 additional dump from the savings account. So last week's paycheck for her was $1,569 for a Friday, which I was a high school football coach with a master's degree, and that was just about my weekly pay, probably less than that after tax. So she's making that not working. It's the power of residual income. It's quite amazing. And leverage. Not only is she making residual income, she has people in her business working it full time and growing it. Fred Duff's in her business and some others. Okay, now let's go to the last thing, minus questions. And it's going to be under what we call partner co-pay. This is all under my money. So partner co-pay is basically an alternate pay plan running. And partner co-pay, whoops, that's actually where you put in your social. I'm sorry, it's not. It is actually called Partner Co Lifestyle Rewards, the first one. Sorry. So it's Lifestyle Rewards. This is where we win our trips. It actually currently is logging us out and putting us into a different one. Actually, it's logging it into Mind. So I'm in Mind now. So you can see I've got 258,000 in there in the current one. I can go in here to transaction history, and it will show me all the different times you'll be able to see when I pull stuff out to go on trips. You can see to Punta Cana, I pulled 500,000 out. So all that is going in. So all we do is go pull those points out and redeem them for trips. You can use gift cards. I actually gifted a bunch of people last year a bunch of points to go to the Bahamas. I had a couple million built up. So you can see there, I pulled out $518,000 on a gift card to gift some people some extras to get them to the Bahamas. So if it's red, it shows what I've taken out. If it's green, it shows what went in. But all this runs based upon the pay plan. So if we go up here to earnings history, this is going to show us everything. And there's an algorithm built in. The number one way we get paid these reward dollars is growth on a pay line, 26-week period over 26-week period. And that first one there, it says last period, I had 1,119,000 volume points that I got paid on. We're only like this new period just started July 1st. So we're only 1 month in. So I have 212,000 volume that I've gotten paid on so far in July. So I've got to catch that 1,119,000 before December 31st. And if I do, every 5,000 points above what I did last time will dump in about 25,000 points into this. $250 is what it's going to do for every 5,000 points above what I did the previous 26 weeks. So brand new people, a lot of times will build up 1,000,000 points easily, like a Dr. Laura that's advancing like crazy right now. Stacy, I bet yours is going to be the same. Billy's, a lot of you guys, Christie's, Carmen, all you guys are going to be building up really quickly because your previous 26 weeks was zero. So if you have a huge 26-week period competing against zero, it's nothing to get a 500,000 volume, a 500,000 point drop. So for Punta Cana, it was 500,000 for two people. It was 250 for one. And I think the Tahiti trip next year will be about 1,000,000 points apiece. Not hard to do it all if you're building. Actually, everybody building will win it. So that's your reward dollars. And there's 9 other ways you get it every time you sponsor somebody if they go ultimate. But just look at that. There's a little thing in the Partner Co Share app. You can read it. It's not my expertise. I don't even train on it. I just tell people if you're making money in the pay plan and your paycheck's going up in base pay, you're going to win our trips. Everything else takes care of itself. But you can come in here and track it on real time. It will show you exactly where you're at, exactly what you need to get done. Any questions there? I will go into I'm going to show you a let me unshare my screen just a minute. I'm going to show you what a bigger matching check paycheck looks like to show you how powerful this becomes into time.
And while we are waiting, I will put in chat where this recording will be uploaded as soon as we are finished.
Okay, not yet. Am I sharing Sarah or not? No?
Yes, well, you were.
Okay, let me share again. Okay. All right. So this was, I think, either last week or week before's paycheck. So for the week, it was 18,443. this breaks down where it all came from. So you can see my matching bonus was 78.56. But down here, I'm going to show you what that looks like when it starts rolling out. By the way, that 436, that volume, I capped at 13,334, but that's the Susan Frank, Susan Carmen, Billy Hagee, and actually there's a lot in that leg. So those are all the different legs we've got moving there. You can see there's a lot of them. All right, but down here, matching check is what we're going to show you. So down here to matching check. Okay, so you can see there. So there's Danessa. That's who I was just showing you. I personally sponsored her. So that particular week, she made $19.62 in base pay. So my match was 15% for $294. And then Chris Dole was $2,000 in base pay. His total check's about $10,000 a week. His matching check is way more than his base pay. And then so is Ken Bailey's. Ken Bailey's way more than Ken's about 12 or 14,000 a week in total pay. But you can see just on those matches, but where it starts getting stupid, you can see I only get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people on my first generation I get matching check on. I probably sponsored 50, so I got quitters too. I probably sponsored more than that. We all have quitters, no worries. I always say whoever has the biggest paycheck has the most quitters. So you can see there on generation 2, it's 10%. So you can see there's Susan Frank. So her base paycheck was $66.31. Her total income was probably $15,000 for the week. But on base pay, a 10% match is $663. And you can just see you do that on and on and on. And believe it or not, like these $39, $66, $64 paychecks, because there's no minimum, like these little $3 matches, they add up to thousands and thousands of dollars. Another neat story is Steve Teglis. He worked it pretty hard for about 3 years. Nobody knows his name because he's retired. And he made $2,246 in base pay. But Kerry Hicks, Sherry Key, all those are in Steve's business. So I bet his matching checks, I bet his total income's like $7,000 or $8,000 a week, and he doesn't do anything except he got started. What happens when you get started? So you can see it goes on and on and on. There's Susan Cameron. So she was the top base pay of that week, $77.18 for the week for a 385 match on 5%. There's Kim Gray at $4,000 for the week. 5% is 201. So we used to read, Britt, we probably need to start this back. We used to read these out. Everybody made $250 or more. We'd read it out and brag on them. So you see Chris and Johnny Budd there, $4,200 in base alone. They're way more than double that total income. Anyway, I always tell everybody, social media is a liar, but I always know the truth because between Britt Palmer and I, we can pretty much see everybody's paycheck. And I always know who's really producing and who's not. That's the reason I'm very careful who we let speak on the IPA calls. Because I don't want somebody not making money sharing a great idea they just had last night in a dream. But that'll show you the power of matching check into time. And it just becomes really stupid into time. Okay, y'all have all got the story now. So that's a little bit of mind growing. I don't do that a lot, but this was kind of a private one. We didn't put that out there publicly. Probably need to cut that part out of the recording at the end, Sarah, if you don't mind. But outside of that, just any questions anybody has. Or any comments anybody wants to make. There's a lot of great leaders on here, and I surely don't have all the answers.
I'd like to say something, Todd. It's Christy.
Hey, Christy.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate how important this matching pay is because I get probably about $1,200 a week just in matching pay right now. And I've only been in the business for 16 months.
So how long so Christy, I know you made senior officer, so your base pay early on was way out in front. How long was it for you to start seeing the matching check start catching up where it started making a big difference in your check?
It was probably at about the year mark where I was like, oh, wow, this is getting to be quite big. Yeah. Where I was at about $1,000.
Not that you have to be patient. Everybody obviously, needs to work with a sense of urgency, but you do need to keep a sense of reality that like the base pay and the new volume bonus is based upon you. But then if you really want to create wealth, that's where you start investing. That's the reason I have no, like the group that set this training up, that leg I just showed you did 460,000 in volume. So you're only like 450,000 above my pay on the base pay. But why do I do it? Because matching check. So you got to treat every leg the same. You got to treat everybody the same. And if you'll figure out a way to do that, you'll end up with a business that's going to pay you such a large amount of money for the rest of your life you can't imagine. But if the second you start getting greedy and you start chasing your pay leg week to week, you'll never have a business. So that's the number one thing I try to teach leaders not to do. It's hard to teach that to everybody because you got to be pretty engaged to understand the long-term game. But everybody here is equally as important. Everybody's here to is just like you. They're here to change their life. Like nobody signed up in my business. Nobody's here on this presentation tonight for Todd Rowland. You're not. Like, be honest. Like, you may like me, you may not like me. You're here for yourself. And that's the way we all are in the beginning. We've got to make our own living. That's how we feed our family. That's how we pay our bills. That's how we send our kids to college. But once you kind of start getting your needs met, it allows you to start shifting your energy into other people's lives, because I always say the broke people are they're always the most stingy. They don't have time or resources to put into other people. They're chasing their own freaking living all the time. If you can take care of yourself a bit, get some security around your family, it frees you up to go invest in others' lives for the rest of your life. And we all find out very quickly that it's more enjoyable to help somebody else than it is to help yourself once your basic needs are met. We all have to meet our basic needs. Any other question? By the way, I do have to just brag on you. So the Carmen Christie team are here. They're doing exceptionally well. A lot of leaders, Shorty, others that are really emerging, and then Ann, you, Billy, Stacy, Dr. Laura, all of you guys, Millie. I don't leave anybody out, but all of you guys are just all amazing, growing, and I cannot commend you enough. Then everybody else that I'm not calling your name out, I always say that the first time I ever went to a live network marketing meeting, there was like 400 people in the room. I flew to an event, didn't really know what to expect. The guy who spoke that night had made $1 million a month in the network marketing industry. There were all my upline. I met them in person for the first time. They were at 30,000 a month. Here I was on borrowed money signing up and on borrowed money showing up at the convention. But for whatever reason that night, I felt like they were only talking to me. So I want that to be you. Like just because we called somebody else's name or pointed out somebody else's success, this was for you if you want it to be. This is your chance, your vehicle to go change your life forever. You're not dependent on somebody else anymore. You're only dependent on us to teach you what you need to know. And then it's up to you to get really good at it, get your confidence, and start doing it every day, all day, if that's your desire, to go create financial independence for your family. So anyway, can't congratulate all you guys enough. Y'all are an amazing group to work with.
Todd, can I just add something? One of the things that I remember listening to like a call similar to this, probably around this time last year, and feeling like it was like all over my head and not understanding, and then feeling super confused. And so there might be people on this call that are like new and thinking, oh my gosh, I don't get it. But what my encouragement to you would be, learn how to be a master at helping people go ultimate, knowing how new volume bonus works. And when you figure that part out, everything else will take care of itself. You don't have to worry about the base commissions and all of those things. And so that's my best piece of advice, is like figure that part out. And when you do that, and when you teach other people how to make money, you're going to make money. And so, but that's like a fundamental thing for me, like that I see just now, 8 months into really building, I would say, is teaching people that new volume bonus piece, how to get somebody to ultimate. And when you learn how to be a master at that, everything else, all those base commissions, all those other things that Todd talked about will completely take care of itself.
It's $1 million nugget, Billy. That shows me why you're so successful.
Just like figure that out, because people can wrap their brain around that. You don't have to understand what savings. I didn't even know. I think until the end of April, I was texting Ann and everyone every Friday, do I have enough for my savings bonus this week? Like I didn't even know what was going on. But if you can just figure that part out and become a master at that, everything else will take care of itself. So,
and then Carmen, you and Shorty, I know Christy chimed in, but y'all are welcome to, some of y'all's team showed up here too. Anything y'all want to add before we get off?
Well, I'll just add to what Billy said. Like, honest to God, I felt the same way. I didn't even know what new volume bonus was for the first 2 months I was in this business. So you just, honest to God, like my nugget, I think for me, I would just how I learned was just to go out and start enrolling people. And once I got paid, I would go back and look where did this money come from? And that's how you learn. I mean, it is kind of over your head in the beginning, but there's so much here. And like, we just see how PartnerCo loves to pay us. It's incredible. Best compensation plan ever.
Okay. Well, everybody out there have a super great night. I really enjoyed it. And Sarah will get this recording up on my YouTube channel pretty quickly. And Sarah, you probably don't have to cut that out. Maybe just write a disclaimer on there that results are not typical. I don't know. Up to you. You know better than I do sometimes.
I always put disclaimers, both financial and medical, on every single video, just in case.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah.
Of course.
Thank you,
You guys have
Todd.
a
We
great night.
appreciate you.
All right. And Stacy, just made CEO. We call her the silent assassin. And tomorrow morning we'll be interviewing Stacy and Dr. Laura, who went senior officer her first month in the company. Quite remarkable.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Okay.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Todd.